That's right, turn that shit up, man.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and the tape doesn't lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time again. Here we are, Wednesday night, 8:30. We got the two guys from TTNL Network, Mr. Shane Marsaw and Dr. Phil Toshin, coming to give us a great show. We got Mr. Greg Braggs, who's lovable and likable. Sometimes you just want to give him a hug. But then we have the CEO, Mr. Zach Pearson himself, joining us this evening to talk everything Chicago Bears. So I think nothing else is more important than bringing on the two stars of the show. One guy returning from the lovable, I think he went to Hedonism or someplace like that. But
yo, this your boy, Draft Dr. Phil, live here. Takana.
Who knows? But he's back with a smile on his face, tan, and a pep in his step. So let's go. Shane, Phil, how we doing, boys?
What's up, Jack? I was just on, you caught me off guard. I was on Amazon buying you fucking 3 cases of 5-hour energy.
Exactly.
Bring that
fucking boy.
Never lies.
Never take cough syrup and mix it up with iodine and lye.
Yes.
Let's go, Jenkins.
That's confirmed from Adam Schefter also.
Give me a tackle
Yep.
or give me death.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Chicago's trading up.
100.
Yes. What? Here it is. Just reported.
Just no competition.
Keeping it 100.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100. The smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the faking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're mouthed up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we lie, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun day. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy Draft Dr. Phil from the Tape Never Lies Network pop-up show. Just as I promised, we always keep it 100 here. This is a Keeping It 100 pop-up show. Real quick, as I always say, real quick. And Jackal can't be real quick with the drop because he's not ready. It's just how this roll is. Claudio is in Italy. And Shane is dealing with the baby. And my guys from TTNL went out to Halas Hall today to do like the Berlin Wall getting knocked down. The Gestapo is still there. They're controlling shit. But I got 3 guys with eyes, football eyes, acumen. We don't have to worry about what's his Omar, whatever the fuck, talking about Tua looking better than the Bears score. Yeah, picture that. Picture that with a Kodak. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh, yes. Anyway, let me get my gangsters, and I'm going to bring them out. Obviously, we got to start with our guy, our hometown guy. Everybody's surprised and shocked how tall this guy is.
Nerd alert!
Yes, there's a nerd alert here. But I'll tell you right now, I love this dude. And I texted or I called Ivan. I'm like, holy shit. I didn't realize how tall my boy Cars is. What's up, Cars, man?
You can't say gangsters and then have me come on first.
Yes,
that is.
You are the fucking stat gangster. You want to know why? Because you don't rely just on that. Those are your fucking side extra weapons. You're like, okay, I checked the tape. Now, how about these fucking stats to go along? So you are a gangster. You are a gangster.
No, I'm the Diet Coke of evil, just like Scott Evil. That's the way this works, but we'll roll with it.
Listen, I love you. I'm so glad you guys got out there and you got to meet our next 2 guys because
absolutely.
Listen, TTNL is family. It really is. I don't give a shit what the trolls say. I always promote good people and guys who do good things with their product, their shows. I always go on the show, Shawn and Maya in the morning, and I love this guy. I'll be on the show tomorrow, probably a double duty. I got twin boys. I'll pretend. Yes. So let me bring these 2 guys out. The super back, Shawn Sierra, the star of Shawn and Maya in the morning, the host and a coach. You guys know him by now. When he first came on the show, I'll never forget, real quick, my wife said, this guy fits with you guys. I really enjoyed what he had to say. I don't know anything about football, and you suck, Phil, because you don't teach me. But
isn't it nice the way Wise can build us up? Really,
yes,
they really.
Like, how would you be around all these people? I don't know anything about the. I go, can you listen to me?
No,
study the game. She's like, you're
no,
yelling.
they don't listen to. Yeah, you're yelling all the time, screaming.
There he is, Shawn Sierra, the super back. What's up, Shawn?
What up? You
were shocked at the size of our nerd, right? I mean,
dude, I was like, who the hell is that? I was like, what the hell, dude? Are you 6'3", 6'4"?
It's like a mystery. I honestly got a text with Shane and Cars in it with somebody else. I can't remember. And Shane's like, yeah, I'm almost 6'4". And Cars like, yeah, I'm 6'4". And I'm like, what? 6'4". I thought he was bullshit. Nope, it's the real deal. Speaking of real deals, like Holyfield, my guy. If you don't know him, he's a producer on Shawn and Maya. I first met this guy on Bears Hour Live. He came on. You got to have hype. If you remember, we always bring a fan on. BHL will do it this time as well. This weekend, our first BHL is back. See a dope promo coming up later in the show. Our guy, Ivan Vargas. What up, brother?
What's up, boys? Cars, nice looking up at you again.
Yeah.
Hey, let me
he's a Cub fan, so he's a Cub fan, so that means a couple of things there, Cars.
Yeah. I found out Cars is also a Sox fan, so it's like I had both of them at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's up, guys? What's up? What's going on?
What's up?
I wanted to get these guys together. Obviously, pop-up show here on TTNL. I appreciate Ivan,
What's up, Bullets?
Shawn, and Cars jumping on here. I think it's important because I'm keeping it 100. There's very few, like you guys met Zach Pearson. We were joking in the pre-show. You guys were talking about Zach's perfectly pouffant hair.
It is. It is a sight to behold.
Like 6'1" too, man.
Yeah, Zach is.
He's a
I'm expecting like a 5'6", 5'7".
I thought he was my height too.
No,
and I
no.
recognize
I'm gonna be the shortest fuck in Chicago.
We got to get you with Johns. Adam Johns and you are probably about where it starts and ends. That's it.
Adam Johns, true story. I'm covering the Bears for Bears Wire. I see Adam Johns. He gave me that fuck you grill from far away. Him and Brad Biggs were in a fucking corner eating pasta and meatballs, and they're looking at me over there. Tom Thayer and Adam Hogue, and let's see, what's the dude? Anyway, Adam Johns does not like me, and thus he's never come on a show.
Don't bump him. Don't even get me started on that dude. You know what? Don't even get me started because you know what? I'll never get credentials because I might whoop somebody's ass. Okay? Here's the problem, dude. Like,
yes. What's the problem?
What? The thing is this. Don't try and big time someone when you're not big time.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you're a
that's
writer,
my
right?
whole thing, man. Like if I can't do that, I got nothing.
No, he means like
don't
acting like you're shit.
Cars, don't do it because I have to whip your ass. I don't want to do that. I just met you and you're cool as hell. So don't
darn it. All right, fine.
No, like he would call the show and then all of a sudden he big timed us and stopped taking my calls and everything. I'm like, dude, like what? I even reached out to him when he got fired by the Sun Times. And I was like, hey, you know what? Sorry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll land on your feet, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, man, thank you. And then he just stopped calling me. I'm like, you know what?
Ugh.
Fuck you, dude.
I'm athletics.
So don't get Shawn started. He's already started. You already got
Golly, what the hell is going on?
The perfect gangsters. What's up, guys?
The perfect.
That McLovin is 100% me. Like that. Every time I see that, it is 100% me. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes. So we found Cars. How we found Cars? Shawn yelled to the back. He's like, "Hey, are you Cars?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm Cars." That's me.
It wouldn't be TTNL without the banter and the passion and the friendship and keeping it 100. I mean, Shawn is putting them on Front Street.
Are you Cars? All right, what's up?
That's all you got to do. That's it.
Well, I saw him in the line because they got cut off. We're in line for the bus, and they cut it off. Like, you guys are going to get on the next one. Like, all right, I'm like, perfect. So we get the front seat because I'm not trying to wait. I hate being like in an airplane, you're in the last row.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets up in front of you like, hey, asshole, look, you got 37 rows in front of you. Sit down. Sit down.
Exactly. I just experienced that like last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And me and Shawn are white as it is, you know what I mean? So it's easier for everybody.
Yeah, we're wide guys. I got broad shoulders, you know what I mean? And so I'm looking at this guy in the line, and sure enough, I was like, oh, cool. All right, so it looks like Cars. I'm like, but I said, this doesn't do him justice. I was like, does he have a filter?
It's totally filtered. It's Instagram all the way, baby. Absolutely.
That's how they fucking get Tom Cruise so tall. I mean, I gotta get those angles when I come to Chicago.
We'll figure something out.
We'll get you the Kim Jong-il platform lift shoes that will give you another 3 to 4 inches, and we'll roll with it.
So listen, let's get into this. Mac Jones is in the game,
Phil, you
right?
didn't
I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. In the spirit of Matt, so you came away from Halas Hall, naggified.
Naggified. So actually, here's a funny story. So we ran into my guy. I called my guy, Mark, and he was over there. I was like, "Are you in town?" Because sometimes he's not in town because he lives in LA. And so he was there. He's like, yeah, I'm in town. Like, oh, cool. So I'm coming up to Halas Hall to practice today, whatever. It's like, all right, cool. So we get there, and
The day starts with us meeting the frickin' director of college scouting. Like, that's how this day starts. Yeah. Sean, talk about big timing us. Sean's just like, hold on. Let me call my friend real quick. And it's like,
Mark.
Jesus.
My friend Mark. I call my friend Mark.
Hey, that's how, he keeps it 100. Sean has always said, listen, I even told Mark, what were you guys thinking with number 10? Obviously, I don't want to go back down that rabbit hole.
We don't have to.
But the reality is that's how we do here.
So he goes, I got something for you. So we get to the Peyton Center, and we're a little late because we were at the information booth at the front as soon as you walk in. And he was waiting for us at the information booth right outside the Peyton Center. He thought we were there. So and these guys had never been to Halas Hall before. So and they have a whole bunch of cool stuff on the way to the practice field. So these guys, I mean, they're gonna take pictures. It makes sense.
Right.
So we got there, and he's like, dude, he goes, you could have scored like 5 touchdowns already. I'm like, I know, dude. He gives me this.
Oh.
So I have my hat on my visor when I want to make the head coach, and he gave me this too.
Look at that.
I was like, oh,
yeah. So it's not just that he meets the director of college. He gets freaking gifts from him.
We got handshakes.
We got handshakes. Sean got his ring kissed. It got really weird really quickly. I don't know what happened, but
so it starts out a great day. Take us through it. Halas Hall, Sean, you guys were taking pictures, so it was great. I was sharing it around to the fans because let's face it, the Bears, I'm sorry, Mark, they do a shitty job allowing you to share this stuff video-wise. And we seen the signs all over the place. You guys saw them. No cameras. Ivan, I'm paraphrasing you. Like, you even brought that camera out. You're getting looks. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
They were looking into the stands. Yeah, they're like cops and everything. They're looking through all the time.
It's like at a concert. Have you ever been at a concert?
And they have those. There's a camera. Get on the fans. They're like you little snitch.
No. There's snitches out there. Oh my god! I remember they're going to at a concert and they're like, "Yeah, put the camera down." I was at Brian McKnight concert. You can't film it. So yeah, whatever. It's just. I can go on. I went on a rant last night. I don't want to do it again. But the positives were that the place, Halas Hall, was beautiful, right?
It's
That's
different.
What do you guys
remember,
think?
Phil, when you'd come on and I'm like, dude, I don't know where they're gonna hold all these thousands of people because they only had 2 practice fields right outside the building. And they take us to the Peyton Center, and we're walking past the Peyton Center, and I'm looking, and as you're walking past the Peyton Center, you see the main building to the left and the 2 practice fields. And I'm like, well, I don't really see anybody over there. Where the hell are we going? I'm like, we're not going to be in the Peyton Center because it's a nice day out. And we're walking, and all of a sudden, I see, dude, there's 2. They excavated and have 2 more fields out and behind the Walter Payton Center. I was like, oh, snap. So then they have stands out there. I'm like, oh, dude, if you clear around, you could actually probably get another 2,000 to 3,000. I think you could have a max of about 5,000 people if they wanted. If they just cleared out some of the far end, the south end of the 2 practice fields, because they're right next to each other. You could probably get about 5,000 people in there, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because you have a lot of undeveloped sections. It's right next to the train tracks for the metro. But then just outside of it, just surrounding the facilities on both ends, they got just undeveloped areas that you could put something in. Another field, another area for fans, something.
Wow.
They've really done a good job of building it up and making it look like it's a way better setup than Bourbonnais, right? Like
really?
from a practice field perspective and everything that's there. Everything is within a 5-minute walk, right? Like they go lift weights or they go to the Walter Payton Center after practice. It's a 5-minute walk from either of the sets of fields.
Yeah, not even 5, dude. They did. I would agree with you, Cars, because I was there 2 years ago. I was actually in Halas Hall for a Bears watch party. A good buddy of mine works for PNC Bank. They're the official sponsor of the Bears, and so they gave him some tickets, and he invited me to go have it was a watch party for the Bears Packers game a couple years ago, and so we were in Halas Hall in the basement where they do the media Every time you see they got the Bears background in there. I actually got pictures. I'll send them to you, Phil. Let's check it out. But anyway,
so my dad is texting me now. I got.
Is he?
He's like, Philip, Mac Jones is the real deal. It took me 3 plays, and I go,
Yep.
Hey,
he's throwing dimes all over the place. And look, Kyle Abdullah, he just dropped the dime in the end zone. The receiver dropped it. Listen, I pride myself on what we do here. The tape tells the story. You guys were out there. Let me play a little bit. I wasn't there. I saw Jackal throw some of these comments up. Hit the like button, people. Smash that like button. Just like HL Priest is telling you. Here's a little, somebody snuck a camera. I don't know who it is, but here's a little footage. You guys were on the field. How do I play it from this angle, though? I got to go over to the
bottom left corner.
I got to go back in here. You guys, it's flowing, right?
Yep.
So here he is, Justin Fields attacking the outside, pressing. This is in goal line situation. The dash pass, a Matt Nagy tradition like no other. So
what was nice about that, though, that
absolutely
in the past we got a lot of cute, tight, touchdown calls and things like that.
Yeah,
you didn't see that today. You saw like straight up man to man, we're going to beat you type of play calls.
Yeah.
With both Andy and with Justin. Like there's a confidence right now in some of these guys out there to make the play that the quarterback's going to make the read. Mm-hmm. I wish there was a touchdown that Justin threw to Jesse James, where the second he recognized that the defender had his back turned, the ball went up.
Okay.
And it was perfectly right where
in the corner.
And he right in the corner.
Yeah.
And he put it right over the guy's head, perfectly into Jesse James' hand. Like it was timed right, thrown right, right read, right time. And you can see this like building as they're going through. Because I saw someone on Twitter today was like, "Oh, the plays weren't that fancy." No, but they were executed right, and it was like a
you fancy,
reverse fumble Ruski?
I think like everybody's wanting this like perfectly thrown ball that's a fade that's over 3 guys, and it's like I don't give a shit how the 6 points look. Just get me the 6 points.
Right.
And those guys, like they were. It was a lot more fun to watch because I went 2 years ago. They were doing a whole lot of short stuff, a whole lot of like check downs. And both of these guys are looking intermediate, they're looking deep, and then they're pulling it back to a check down. It's a huge change in the confidence in the staff of what they're calling and what they're doing. That part for me was worth that trip. Like just watching the confidence of that offense for once, even with the line issues, even with everything else. They're really big believers in their own talent right now.
Exactly.
Hey, Cars, remember I walked up, so I stopped to get a bottle of water, and Ivan and Cars had walked up to the field already. So I'm walking up after I got my bottle of water, and they were standing maybe really close to Justin Fields. Where that drill was, and I saw him. He backed up, and I'm walking. They were doing one-on-one drills with that, and it was Justin Fields and Graham.
Jimmy.
Okay,
yeah.
And so he did an out and up, and this dude was all out and up over the right up the right sideline. Dude was all over Jimmy Graham's left arm, and this ball was placed out over the right arm. Jimmy Graham extended his 37-inch arm.
A little, not even much. Like,
and it just swooped right here, like just basically
dropped
it dropped it right there,
just like over the guy's hand. It was that was the first pass that I saw Justin Fields throw live. I'm like,
we just walked up. We
guys were just walking in.
Yeah, that's the first play. It's one-on-one defensive backs versus our tight ends. So, and this guy gets in, right? So I can't remember who the defensive back was at the time, but he's going against Jimmy. So he gets up and it's an aggressive jam right at the line, right? So I'm into this right away. Mm-hmm. And it's the perfect pass. And it's not just like it's not just like Jimmy could have kept going. Like he dropped it so perfectly in motion.
Yeah.
You're just like it was nothing.
Phil,
And
you've done these. You're a receiver, so you know
Right.
in warm-ups, and they have the little just go out when the quarterback's warming up his arm.
Yeah.
And I know at Holy Cross you would do that. We would just have one hand catches.
You want to
and dude,
focus.
and Jimmy Graham literally could have run. He caught the ball and he could have kept running with the ball where it was. It was away from the defender, over his outside shoulder. I was like, holy shit, this is the first pass I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back. We were at Family Day, but this is the first pass I'm seeing of him like real close.
Yes,
right.
I was impressed.
Big plays are nice. They're good.
Yes,
I'll give you some more
big
stuff.
Big plays
later
are nice. They're good. I know you guys you were out there. Obviously, this kid is the story. So let's start. Obviously, your first walk up, you see that play, but throughout this whole practice, you're hearing one thing, and then I'm sorry, there's a lot of hype that goes into things sometimes when it comes to this stuff. So I trust you guys. So you saw Justin out there, you saw Andy, and you saw the quarterbacks. What was your takeaways going around the room here in regards to overall with Justin and Andy?
Who do you want first, Phil?
I'll knock it out. Yeah, I'll knock it out real quick. You know what? Overall, both guys look good.
Yeah.
Especially in goal line. Goal line, like Carr said, they were, there was no thud today. You know what I mean? There was no thud. The first play was thud, and then after that, it was like pretty much live.
Then the machismo took over, dude.
Yeah, there were some cracks. There were some cracks and some scuffles.
People hitting the ground.
Yeah, people hitting the ground. But for the majority, that goal line looked well. Like they ran it well. I think Andy had a pick. It was I think there was a mix up with the receiver. But for the most part, they looked well. The issue that I had was in the middle of the field when they were going long. Like Carr said, they were trying to push, but it just seemed like the defense for Miami. I know Miami has a really good defense over there. It looked like they were just one step ahead in certain aspects. It looked like they were frustrating Andy Dalton, frustrating that offensive line. And I know we have Spindles right now at the tackles. Well, when did they ever leave at this point?
Right.
But it's like for me, the middle of the field was the issue. Pushing it downfield was the issue. We got to see what happens with these offensive tackles, man. They got to figure that out just so we can better, assess what they're going to do on offense. Because right now I felt like there were plays that they could have hit, but the quarterbacks had no time. There were certain things that they wanted to do that they really couldn't do because they're suffering at the tackle spot.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the story. I want to get into, obviously, we're going to get into the offensive line. We got until about 9:10 to do this pop-up show. So, we could talk forever. So, Justin Fields, Cars, in your eyes, especially with everything, we're trading up. Everybody knows the history here. If you don't, let's play that real quick. Where is that, Jackal? Chicago is trading.
According quarterbacks still on the board. It's time for one to be traded up for.
Here we go.
Chicago's trading up.
There it is. Chicago's trading up. This is you're 10 feet away from this now. It was surreal for you to be out there today, but watching this kid, what did you take away?
So I'm kind of with Ivan. He has way more of the wow throws, right? Like he has some of the big, like the arm talent is there. In certain plays and in some of the ones that we're developing, there was another play where there was a rush and he kind of casually stepped to this left and just floated this perfect pass to Jesper Horsted where he was the only one that could make it. But what I'll say is Andy is kind of more polished at this point. He's solid. He's steady. He's not going to give you that big flash play. But he's just he's like a guy that goes to a par 5 and he's just hitting his 4-iron the first 3 shots because he's comfortable with it. He knows where it's going to go. But you see things from Justin when he's on the move, his ability to change arm angles, his ability to really stress a defense. There was a red zone play before some of the throws where they actually had him kind of rolling out. And he took it in and he ran it in. And the second that he did that, That's why you saw those other plays kind of work, because the defense was like, okay, he'll do this on us, right? But his arm talent is something that we've not seen. Jay Cutler had an incredible arm. I'll never take that away from him. But his throws are just are something. When he drops that like 3/4 arm movement while he's on the run, the accuracy of that throw is something special. So he's trending in the right direction. But I to me, the way I look at it is Andy is ready to steward the ship to begin with. But it is really just everybody knows on that sideline. It's a matter of when this season he's taking over. Yeah.
Listen, everything's going on. We got football on tonight. You guys are at Halas Hall. Saturday, Chicago Bears versus the Miami Dolphins. Leno is whiffing as usual. Someone just sent me a clip. Here's Leno. He's almost and whiffed already.
Oh yeah.
Cars, our White Sox are winning 1-0. A home Brady home run.
It's a good
into
day.
The corn.
Here's another clip before we get to Shawn Sierra. Shawn, you guys saw this play live off the boot. This guy.
That was the one. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
there you go. Let's watch it one more time. Watch him fake toss. Now he's coming back. They got the backside wing blocking. Look at that. That's our boy Ryan Nall.
That's Nall.
Ryan Nall coming backside with a good block. Listen,
he had a great celebration dance too. I don't want to undercut that. Nall had a really nice little "I sealed my block well" dance that worked out quite well.
I got to thank my boy, our guy Ryan Cox, Professor X, I call him. He's sending me these clips so we can show you. This is what we do here, Shawn. Live,
it's a family show,
pop-up show, a family. If you're just tuning in, we got Shawn Sierra of Shawn and Maya from Sports Zone Chicago. And their producer and our friend. I love this dude. Can't wait to meet both of them. Uncle Shawn and Uncle Ivan. Here we go. Shawn Sierra, your takeaway. This is it. The moment of Justin Fields. You saw him at family day or whatever they call it, family fest. But today you're out there, the stage is set. Miami Dolphins. How did he look to you?
This guy's gonna be a star.
Okay.
I called my guy Mark, my fullback, and like he and I'll talk. Like you'll have to meet him. Like me, like we talk. Like me and you, Phil. We'll talk football on a different level.
Right.
And I called them and I was like, dude, I said I'm like a freaking little schoolgirl. I'm like, this dude is like, I was so giddy, and not to say he didn't make mistakes, because of course he did. He's a rookie. Okay, but you see, once he gets seasoned, dude, his ability, he threw about 5 or 6 touchdown passes in red zone today. Okay, 5 or 6 touchdown passes.
Wow.
Cars talked about the one to Jesper Horsted, where he laid it right over the defender whose back was turned, and Jesper Horsted caught it and took a couple steps back and backed out of bounds after he caught it for the touchdown. He's just special. And I will say this: I'm okay with Andy Dalton starting. Andy Dalton and Cars use a golf analogy, but this is the kind of guy who's not going to fuck up. He's gonna be conservative. He's gonna take what they give him, make them pay for what they give you, and it's gonna be fine. It's just, when do you want to put Fields in is the question. This guy is, and I'm literally trying to suppress it, and
it's so hard after today.
I don't want to jinx this.
No,
if I get too hyped on it, I'm gonna be.
This invention here is called the Cobb Quick.
Yes,
I don't want to be like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And as coaches, Phil, when we see a good player, like, as long as he stays healthy, this guy could be a player for us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what I feel like saying. But like, dude, like I can't. Like this guy, see. When Zach told us when he was at rookie minicamp and said he had that it factor, dude, he's got that it factor.
Yeah,
and there's
a presence, Shawn. Yeah. When somebody listen, the game isn't too big for you. I've done this shit. These comments, guys, I only could paraphrase his quotes. Like, I'm built for this. I was made for this. However he said it, he's been under the spotlight for his whole entire
high school.
life.
And that's what we got to like. For those who used to watch training camp 2 years ago, I don't know how many remember how frustrated the wideouts would get, right? Because there were plays left, there were things missed, all of that. There's none of that in this camp. All these guys, and that's why you're seeing the Lacey's and the Rodney Adams and the John Veas really tearing off, because all these guys know if they just stick with it and go, no matter who's the quarterback, they're gonna get their opportunity.
That's what it should be.
Yes,
and it's what it should be.
There's a confidence in this. Like I said, there's a confidence there. It's all going to come down to the offensive line, absolutely. But there's a confidence there in these guys that they have in themselves. Like, you watch Damian Williams and Montgomery run. They're running angry. They know what's coming, right? Like, you see all these guys commit with a chip, right? Like, he took that hit, like Ivan said, and got up and started getting in that dude's face. I'll take it. I'll take it all day. And it's so much fun to watch. It is so much fun.
He got depleted. Like, you
He
got to
did.
protect yourself. You got to protect your neck, man. And even though it's thud, okay.
That was a thud.
He kind of slowed up a little bit, and old boy came and thudded him out of bounds and kind of depleted him and he got up and I'm like, don't get mad, dude. Like, don't. I said, hey.
You got to be ready for that. You got to be
the
ready
hammer.
for that.
Don't be the nail. Okay.
I want him to be. I want him to get uppity, because I want you to get mad at yourself that you let that happen. And the next time, I want you to put that little dude face first into the dirt. Right? Like, that's shit. Do whatever. Just get angry.
Let me tell you about. You know what? Everyone's talking about the tackles. You know what? I think we're going to be fine. And I know it's only the Dolphins. I know it's only the Dolphins, and not saying they have the best defense.
They have a good defense.
Yeah, they do.
They have a good defense.
We were able to run the ball on these guys today, and I was extremely impressed. Dave Montgomery is everything. Is just as good as advertised. Damian Williams is hungry as well. Remember, he sat out last year, so he's trying to make an impact on this new team. These guys are good. Khalil Herbert as well.
Khalil showed me some.
Yeah, Montgomery and Damian Williams. They had a couple of rushing touchdowns in that red zone. And I was impressed. So I feel.
Yes, he did.
Excellent get off. He's got excellent get off. Any get off. So he times his get off.
Got a lot of get off.
There were a lot of people getting off in the stands. I can tell you that. Every time Fields threw a touchdown, it was like,
There's a lot of people there. There was a lot of people there.
That's a good amount.
There was a good
And
remember, Braggs was saying last week how there was only a couple of hundred people there. No, there were a good amount of people. And who was that in the comment that said it's 3-1 Yankees? Okay, you better check your neck. It's 5-3 White Sox, cars.
There it is.
Don't be messed. Don't be talking shit about my White Sox, the pale holes. Don't be doing it.
No, but to go back
That's my job.
Shawn and Phil, I thought our centers, Mustapher and Dieter, had really good days today. The interior of the line did a really good job at opening the holes for those touchdown runs. Mustapher is all over that field, right? Like, he's talking to everybody. He's getting everybody engaged. Iceland isn't so vocal, right? Because it's obviously still learning. But seeing that dude stand up next to somebody and just realizing, like, how massive Dieter just is, and how big Jenkins is, and how big Simmons is, right? Like, you see some of these guys.
Simmons, he started at right tackle today, right?
And I thought he had a very solid day today as well.
There you go.
But this is what I'm saying, Phil. When you run the ball, okay, and you allow these guys who, pass setting's tough. You're dealing with guys, you're moving backwards, and you're expected to use all of your strength to stop someone when they already have forward momentum. When you run the ball and you allow these guys to impose their will on defensive line, okay, what happens is defensive lines can't come off looking for the pass anymore.
Right, exactly.
You can't, because you have to earn the right to rush the passer. And what they were doing today, dude, they were smacking him in the mouth, Phil. They were smacking him right in the goddamn mouth. And I'm telling you, I got a chubby. I was like right in the freaking mouth.
Listen, I talked to each one of you individually.
This invention here is called the Cobb Quickie.
Each one of you.
Shawn disappeared for a while during the practice.
Yeah, he really did.
Cobb Quickie, apparently. Listen, each one of you talked to, and you all were in unison about the offensive line playing with an attitude, and it surprised you, and you were excited, and each one of you said what Cars just said about the running backs running hard and playing strong. You mentioned Damian Williams. Cars mentioned my boy D. Montgomery. Now you've mentioned Khalil. There's 3 guys right there listed in that run game. Everybody wants to know about Tevin Jenkins. Was he involved?
He was standing next to guys. He couldn't do anything physical, but he was standing next to guys.
No, just his jersey on, no helmet.
Next
to Castillo.
Like
Tom Thayer was like, he's like off in the distance.
He was right next to.
Was that bullshit?
He was right next to Castillo when we were watching. He was right in front of us, right next to Castillo while they're going through drills.
And how about Affetti? He was nowhere to be seen.
I didn't
or
see
Eddie Goldman. They both were out of there.
No, so Affetti was somewhere on the field because we saw him when he came off. I did not see Eddie Goldman at all.
Does that obviously the talk of camp so far has been Eddie Goldman's replacement, so to speak, in Kyrus Tunga.
Can I get 45 minutes to talk about this guy?
Yes.
If I could, please.
That's why I'm bringing this up. So talk about Tunga, Cars first. Listen, if I could go back to that draft day, Shawn was there. 2 guys I wanted, we got Jenkins and Tunga. Obviously, Jenkins, it's not fucking Chris Williams again. Let's let that see where it goes with Jenkins. That being said, Kyrus Tunga, BYU, we broke him down on our patron side. And it's like, bro, we got to draft this fucking guy. I fucking can't speak enough. What did he look like out there today against another team?
A man-child? Like, it was... Look, there were a couple of things. When we got there, they started to do this one-on-one defensive line pass rush thing. So everybody lines up, right, offense and defense, and then one by one, they'll start at the edge and work their way, and they go one-on-one against the guy. Tung took the center, literally pushed him down, bent him almost in half, and just pushed him into the coach that was playing quarterback, like within seconds. And when we talk about, like, Miami does not have great running backs, but they didn't have room. Tunga was on the field with Mac, Quinn, and Akeem Hicks or Bilal Nichols, whoever was in. So he was getting first team reps.
Yep.
And that man was just stonewalling. I know they've got like a younger center in Miami, and he made him look terrible. I mean, I know that they don't expect much out of him from the pass rush, but that guy is so physical, so strong, he's one of those guys that it's like the old Ted Washington. My job is to take blockers and make them hate their life the day that they have to guard me or block me. That's what I see out of Tunga. He was so much fun. He is so much fun to just watch hit people, because then he just kind of casually walks back over like nothing happened, right? Like it's like, doesn't matter to him, and he's going to do it.
He just reminds me of that guy that, you have these certain kids that get a Christmas present and they're like, wow, I got it. And there's another guy that's like, thank you so much. And he puts it down and he doesn't break it. That's what Tunga reminds me. He's like so dominant, but he just puts it down.
No, he'll break your ass. He'll break.
Yeah, he'll be sorry. Yeah,
he'll put you in half. Like Carr says, when he comes off the ball, but when he gets off the ball, man, like it's power. It's just power and strength. He's just go. I'm gonna walk you down until you're in front of the quarterback.
Dude, he took centers, and he might not get a lot of sacks. Okay, but I'll tell you what, the quarterback is not going to be able to step up in that pocket.
Yeah,
it's like you finish a bottle of water and you just crush it. That's how easily he was pushing these centers
just
back.
Like that.
And I was looking at him, and Carr said, like it was like a man among boys, to reiterate what Carr said. And like, you have to be kidding me. Okay, again, I'm not expecting 10, 15 sacks from this guy. I'm expecting him to collapse the pocket. So Khalil Mack So Robert Quinn, who looked awesome today.
Oh, Quinn looks so good.
That's my next question for you guys.
Dude,
Save it.
The middle with
finish your talk
with Tonga, Eddie Goldman, and Akeem Hicks, and then Bilal Nichols. Dude, all three of the
and Mario Edwards too was all over the place.
And
Blackman too.
Blackson, yeah.
Angelo.
Snowden.
Yeah.
Don't forget Snowden.
Snowden had a couple. Gibson too.
Yeah, Snowden had a couple where his
Mark
speed.
Anderson of 2006.
Yeah,
It was so hot out there. How did we get snowed in? Oh,
anyway.
What?
Tell Snowden that quarterback in, dude. He got by the offensive tackle a couple times, just tapped the quarterback. It was like, I had your ass.
This kid is a freak. I was watching, somebody sent me video from camp that has a certain rule on him, and he was just filming Snowden just jogging, and I'm like, you could just see this guy is
he's a stud.
He is an Adonis, an athletic.
He's got a
Adonis.
gift. Yeah.
How this transfers over, Shawn, you filmed Family Day. This guy on my watch with you and Ivan did it. You guys were there. On your video, I saw Snowden. He would have had 2 sacks in that game. And then everybody's talking about him. To Shawn's point, great comp, but more size here. Mark Anderson, 7th round pick or 6th round or 5th round, late round guy who ends up becoming a big reason why that team ended up going to the Super Bowl that year. Everyone forgets. Big play against the Arizona Cardinals is Mark Anderson strip stack. Mike Brown picks up the ball. Scores. I think he gets hurt on that play. Mike Brown does.
He does.
Yeah.
Damn it, Mark Anderson.
That was a turnover to start that.
You get another pass rusher because Cars. We talked about it. It was like Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn. They both were very banged up last year. Then you had Vaughters coming in, and then you had what's his name who got arrested, former LSU guy.
I know.
Arrested down in Atlanta, so he's out of the league. Craziness.
Barkevius
Mingo.
Who showed up on tape. You know, he had some moments there, but that's the drop. Now you're getting a young Adonis out there. I'm interested in seeing. And then Mario Edwards, obviously. But yeah, let's talk about Robert Quinn. And before we do, wait. The thing is rolling around the internet sphere or whatever, Twitter sphere, that Akeem Hicks wants an extension, and the Bears are in talks with him about one. How did he look today? And real quick, before we get to Robert Quinn, go around. Would any of you want to extend Akeem Hicks? We'll start with you, Shawn.
Yes, and yes, he looked really good. He looked like he was in shape.
Really
nice.
What happened is he
huge.
He looked like he any ailments he had, he healed up over the summer or in the off season and was able to work out. He looked like a very svelte, like 320.
Yeah,
wow.
Very svelte, and dude, his power. You know, he looked like the Akeem Hicks of old.
Yes.
It just and like flippering people. Getting people, his violent hands at the line are awesome.
Oh my god!
And I'll tell you what, there's I don't know if there's a contest or who could have most sacks for the defensive line or most TFLs, but that's tackle for losses for people who are not sure what TFL. And I wasn't being a dick.
You're not.
It's a good stat. It's a good stat.
NFI.
And I'll tell you what, dude, this guy, because they're all making plays, but Akeem Hicks. Dude, he led the charge, man, and
this is huge right here.
This got me. I'm telling you, I had a chubby.
I got goosebumps right now because if Akeem is ready,
yes,
Phil, he took a dude. He literally took a dude, picked him up in the air, and put him on his ass. I'm not exaggerating. He took a human being, a large human being, and was like,
300-pound human being.
Sit down. It was something else. Something else.
Yeah.
Listen, this defense is championship ready. I've been saying that forever. Akeem Hicks hearing this, and when Irish Rastafarian said it, his agent Drew Rosenhaus is in town. I agree with Mikel Williams that there's a reason. Akeem, I think, is seeing a cultural or a talent change, especially at that position that we've been hyped about. Actually, I got another play from that position. Let's watch this play real quick, and I'll finish my thought while you're watching it. He's gonna roll to a free runner, Shawn. He knows this is a hot play, so he's got a free runner. So he's gonna run right to it. Angle is off, and the ball is completely accurate. That's the kind of stuff, man. If you have somebody, a quarterback that understands, hey, I know I suck you in. I'm going to take a shot here, but it's going to allow my receiver to be hot. We have not seen that with Mitch. I'll tell you that right now. Just this one play. I'll go back and show you why we have not seen this with Mitch, because this guy knows this is a blitz. Now, this is what you get in practice. He's going to be free. And you're going to drop that in there, and that's Artavius Pierce catching it. Am I wrong here? Is that Larry Borum at right tackle there?
No. I think that is Woodley at right tackle.
Wasn't even on the field.
Wheatley. Oh, Wheatley.
Thank you, Bill. 7-3's good guys.
Wheatley.
Tyrone Wheatley Jr. That's right.
Yes, that's a kid I've been seeing. Real quick, I'll all agree, Akeem Hicks. You guys got me excited. I think he's the glue. He's the guy that when I look at this defense, if he's okay, granted, we could do it without Akeem. I swear to you.
Oh, yeah.
But if you got him, now you got that fucking old man strength who's attacked the offseason. Yeah.
Strength.
That's
Hey, Phil, I want to tell you about
Robert Quinn. Go ahead. What were you going to tell me?
I was going to tell you because Cars mentioned this, but it piggybacks off this one. There was a pass to Jesper Horsted that Justin had felt pressure. He stepped up in the pocket and threw it to a spot. He threw it to a spot. He realized that I don't know if it was cover 2 or if it was 3, but the corner had bailed. He was going out with the number 1 receiver gone out, and there was a hole in the flat. He threw the ball. There was pressure. He wouldn't have time to wait, otherwise he would have been sacked.
Yep.
So he lofted the ball all the way to that area, and it just hung and floated. And Jesper Horsted ran right underneath it, caught it, got pushed out of bounds. But that's what you're talking about when you understand the ability to say, okay, that corner's gone.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, that corner's gone. There's an area that's vacated. I got a guy going there. Oh damn, I don't have time. Well, I'll put it up there. Nice and soft. Let my guy get a chance to run underneath it and get it. And he did. It was beautiful.
At some point, our quarterbacks, and you guys could tell me, have never played in the streets. This kid seems to have played. You know what I'm saying?
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
It's like there's a certain way you got to throw a ball when you're playing on fucking pavement to allow you. And they don't. I've not seen that. And again,
you have to get it there before you hit the curb, right?
Yeah,
you got to get it there and drop it right before you get to that curb.
Exactly.
Or that big ass Buick.
Dude, that was a route. Go between the cars.
Go to the Buick.
Go between the cars. And you had to throw it up over the car.
I think that's the game-winning play in Any Given Sunday is when what's his name? Pacino's like, go to the Buick and turn left. Exactly. I think that's the way that works.
You guys got me excited. I gotta hear about Robert Quinn because Mr.
Cars, you go.
Cars got me so excited in a text. I was outside by the pool with the boys today. It's so hot here in Connecticut, like you guys. There's a heat wave. And I saw that. I felt like that guy, like, oh, yes, baby. This is what I want to hear about Robert Quinn. Go ahead, Cars. What?
Poor Austin Jackson had a really bad long day. First off, his burst is there. But if you go to any of these and you get a chance, watch the way Robert Quinn uses his hands. And it's not just the way like Austin could not figure out a way to get his hands on Robert. Robert got in his head so bad, like his hand placement was off. But he would take that, and Shawn and I were talking about this, like he will knock the arm out, dip, and get under and be there. And then 2 plays later, he'll swipe that, and Jackson would start to lean, and then he's counter spinning. It's not just the moves, but it's the counters. And what was fun for me is he's all over the place. Like he is flying to the ball, but like he and Khalil almost every play were meeting at the quarterback, and they're feeding off of each other. They are like, I'm in my 40s, right? I remember the old Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall will meet at the quarterback and then just scream at him the entire time after we've knocked him down. They were all over Tua. And I mean, it got to the point where Austin was toast, but Tua mentally was toast because he just saw 94 in his grill all day. So when you saw the numbers, someone at one point was like, Miami has scored 5 of 7 times in the red zone. 4 of those would have been sacks, but they allowed those plays to keep going. So I mean, it was all Quinn. Like Quinn
they ain't gonna stop it on Saturday.
No. He was fun. If you go there, watch the way he uses his hands.
Who was the MVP? You would say Robert Quinn.
I honestly would say Tonga for me, because to Sean's point, he was like
dominant.
He was pushing that pocket so much that when the edge guys came around, there was nowhere for Tua to go. I mean, like
this is freaking.
There was. I still say Khalil Mack.
Yeah. That's like cheating, but yes,
it is true.
Yeah.
But Khalil Mack, he seems to be playing with a lot of pissed offedness, and that's an old word I just made up. And I like it.
Pissed offedness and excitement. Like he looks giddy to go hurt somebody right now. Yeah.
Listen, guys, I've told everybody and their brother. I broke down Robert Quinn. I said he's fucking playing his ass off, and he's hurt.
Yeah.
I had 2 players separate, text me and tell me this guy shouldn't even be playing last year. So to have that, especially from these guys right here telling me, listen, Robert Quinn. I mean, when I could go screenshot the text from because I specifically asked, how's my boy Quinn? And those comments got to get you excited. Obviously, it's 8:57. So I'm watching. I'm very conscious of the clock because up at 9:30 on TTNL, we got our fantasy football show with our guys, Steven Johnson, and this guy producing. He'll be a freaking
hello.
He'll be a
my
star.
favorite librarian. It's really nice to see you again.
Just here in the neighborhood, hanging out, listening to you four fucktards talking about Bears.
So One Up Fantasies coming up here at 9:30 East. You guys could get your fantasy on, but right now my fantasy is with you guys talking about this Chicago Bears team matching up, which I believe, Sean, you and I talked about it on your show, how important these joint practices are for these coaches. Speaking of coaches, Cars also got me giddy about a certain coach and a new defensive coordinator. What was that like? You took a picture with him, Sean. So what were your thoughts on his energy out there and how he's handling this defense that I believe is championship quality?
My thought was this, that as of right now, until people make adjustments, he knows what to do with these guys. All right. Yeah. And you know, when you get a guy who's been under a couple of really good coordinators, under Vic Fangio and Chuck Pagano, and now he's got Mike Pettin with him, you know, not underneath him, but he's alongside of him. He's just new blood. You know, it's new blood, it's younger blood, it's maybe a little more aggressive. And the thing about it is that he's fired up. He's gonna have to calm it down, dude, because you just can't get that fired, because you're gonna be fired up with the way the defense is gonna play. You know, you can't get fired up every single time, dude. You're gonna have a heart attack by days in a year or two, dude. So what I liked about him was I do love his energy. His players feed off it. Yeah. But my thing with him is he knows how to use those weapons that he have. And someone asked earlier about Ogletree. Yeah, dude, Dan Trevathan better watch out.
Ogletree was
and Christian Jones.
Dude, underrated fucking signing. I was so excited because Danny T is a liability in coverage. That's why we love Kevin Pierre-Louis. Me, Shane, and Cars was leave this fucker in the game in third downs and use it situationally. Leave Danny in there first and second. Bring this kid. They don't do it. They don't use it. You got to be excited. Cars, you said, and I quote, it's like Draft Dr. Phil is out there screaming and yelling on the defense. Sean Desai has what I don't think he's gonna freaking pass out. I really don't. I don't think he's going to pass out.
You know that GIF that everybody uses where it's like a basketball coach in the locker room and he's at the whiteboard and the kids get up and leave and the coach is just screaming like, let's go! And he's screaming at nobody. That is Desai after every big play that the defense makes, right? Like he and Rumpf were all over those defensive guys in those one-on-one drills. They were screaming, hollering, like the red zone drills. They were bringing all of it. Like they took pride every time that they stopped those guys. And it was like, you can see the veins in Desai's like temples when he's getting really excited, just screaming at the top of his lungs. Like he feels that he's in that moment. It reminds me a little bit of that old, like, if I need to bring 7, I'm going to bring 7. If I need to bring 8, I'll bring 8. If I need to bring 11 and just sell out to get this done, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit here and let you guys do this, right? I'm not going to let you pick what you want to do.
This is huge fucking news. The pop-up show with my guy Shawn Sierra, the superback, my man Matt Carstensen, you know I'm Bears nerd, and the producer, the super producer over at the Shawn and Maya show, Ivan Vargas. They were all at Halas Hall today checking out what has been delivered in the mail in regards to the Chicago Bears. Speaking of the mail, I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about that mail. I'm talking about the mailman.
I couldn't let you have 2 shows without me.
Shane is back. Everybody's asking, where is he?
I'm never too far away.
He's never too far. Shane.
I had to come on, man.
Yeah.
I had to talk to Cars and Ivan and Sean and thank them we finally have somebody that's a Bears fan that goes to camp that gets us some good fucking video clips. There's literally nobody out there that knows how to do that. So I wanted to compliment you guys for.
I do want to say
I just forwarded the one that was on the internet.
I do want to say,
look at this.
It makes a lot
young draft pick.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
That's my girl. It made a lot of sense that the best practice for Fields was when Greg Braggs wasn't there. I think that makes the most amount of sense and is the most fitting thing.
Well, fucking Sean's got his visor on. Matt Nagy's changing the culture. I hope.
He's coaching different. Like, I will say that.
This is the most physical you've seen. You've been there every year. So talk about that real quick.
They were thumping. They were bringing it. And like I said, there was no longer this cuteness of like, they ran one wildcat play because it's just kind of what you do. But everything else was just, we're going to go one-on-one. This is the play we're going to run. And this is how we're going to attack.
Right.
And even more than that, it was intermediate first, right? 15+ yard plays. That's your first look. Your second is the guy coming deep behind him. Your third is going to be your check down, right? Like they were looking to push the ball vertically. Like we always thought, what happened is aggressiveness. Why isn't this an aggressive coach? Why isn't he making this move? And we started to see that at least a little bit today with the way he was calling these guys, whether it's, deep slants, whether it's they were going at these guys. And then they just came over the top with a real powerful run game with Monty and Williams, right? Like they were way more physical than I've seen them. They were way more amped. And I'm hoping this carries over because it certainly feels like there's I said it with the players, but in the staff too. They are super, super confident in what they're building towards, and they seem to have an identity that isn't a trick play identity. They have an identity as an offense that I think is going to make a big difference.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
There is hope.
There is hope.
Shane, we talked about this for ages. You, me, Cars. Now we have two brothers here. Obviously, much respect for them. But, you know, this football team built always defense, run game. Finally got the quarterback. We've been talking about that. And to hear Shawn, to hear Cars, to hear Ivan being 10 feet away from this guy and knowing that Zach Pearson's like, that it factor is real. You step away from that. It's got to be exciting, bro.
He's got the it factor in a fucking press conference. Whenever the kid talks, you just feel it. You know?
It's a, and the thing is, it's not an arrogance. It's just, I know who I am. Right. I know what I do, and I know what I need to do. Right? Like, you don't need anything you don't need some guy who's going to, you don't need Uncle Rico trying to throw it over the mountain, right? Like, you need the guy that knows, when I get into this play, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need to execute it. And these are the 3 takeaways that I need to have, right? Like, this is the order I've got to look.
Yep.
That's as simplistic as it sounds. That's all I care about from a quarterback. Like, know who you are, know what you need to do, know what the offense needs you to do. And he was even lining people up again today, right? He was getting people into position. He knows his position, and he knows some of the other guys too. It's night and day, and it's hard not to be super excited now.
Your Cobb quickie drops need to be going on, because that's all.
This convention here is
exactly. Thank you, Jack.
Oh boy.
That's all I feel here, because you got a key. Let me just go through the cliff notes, if you will. From Shawn Sierra, first play, one hand, dime, just one hand. Obviously, Shawn got gifts and all shit, but the reality is,
I heard that, man.
Yeah, he's got gifts. He's got.
Did they have a float?
I gotta ask you, Shawn.
Did he get a parade?
I'm the guy that always gives grief. I'd seen a couple of comments in the chat. You got the Matt Nagy visor on.
Right.
It's is that a concussion?
They were handing them out.
Is that a concussion protocol visor? That shit looks bad. Got a backup. That is the Matt Nagy one right there.
This is the when I saw this.
It's crazy. I was sending you a gift. I hope it ain't the visor.
No, you can't have my visor.
I don't want a visor.
How will Shawn be himself without the visor? I just don't know. I don't know.
Every Friday, you need to be wearing that visor.
Oh, Phil, I was gonna wear it tomorrow. I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna wear it tomorrow.
Come on, Shawn. We're like,
I was gonna wear it
we're
tomorrow.
in P here. We're step to step, like new kids on the block.
Because I shave my head on Fridays too. Because I shave my head once a week, so it's gonna be nice. And
oh, you got to get the Manscaped, man. Manscaped.
Well, I'm not gonna put it on that. It's gonna go on this head.
It works everywhere, Shawn. I swear. It works everywhere. You're bald. Huh? Where is it? Huh?
Yeah, I was just saying. Where's
what? Thank you. I needed that. Jackal's horrible, Shane, with drops. I'm just letting you know.
We love our librarian.
We need Caden Whitlow.
Dude, if you want to if you're talking and you know it's coming, dude, use your fucking imagination. Just click the fucking button.
There's the librarian. There's the librarian. Send them back the Dewey Decimal.
We know he ain't reading those books behind him.
He's looking at his watch.
It's a fucking fathead back there.
Now Shane's here. The library's not even real. It's like a fucking poster.
He keeps one book on the corner of his desk. But if somebody talks to him about his fat head,
I got them all. What do you want? You want to read about
grab one off the shelf.
Grab one off the shelf. You want to read about the fucking Bears?
No, grab one off the shelf.
Yeah, grab one of those.
True. Shane predicted it.
Dude, I fucking told you guys. I didn't know. In there. Dude, that is fake as shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love this.
You gotta love this show.
That's
love
awesome.
him. Real quick, because we are running up to their show time, and I'm not gonna push the buttons there because I really want to say a couple things, and then real quick go around. Obviously, Cars, you already said Tonga was the guy really for you, so choose another. When you're out there, the biggest takeaway, guys, as we wrap up here on the pop-up show today, and then Shane, you can have a question with these guys too, Shane.
I don't have a question so much as I have a comment on things.
You want to
that
save
happened
it?
today.
Save it?
No, I mean I can get right into it. The thing that I didn't even take anything away from the practice so much, but
yeah,
I thought it was very interesting. You guys know how I look at things from a different perspective, maybe not as a coach, but front office type. Drew Rosenhaus showed his hand today to me. Started negotiating in the media. That puts Ryan Pace in a position of strength. And now you're going to play for me on our number, not on yours. And that's huge. That's huge for Chicago because if he's healthy and committed, and he certainly looks like he is,
Shawn says,
then it's on Chicago's number. This isn't going to be if they decide to move forward. But I was very surprised that Drew Rosenhaus put that out there publicly.
Yes.
That Akeem wants to finish his career here in Chicago. Because he's the shark. He's the the big agent. And that, to me, that is Ryan Pace and all these guys had to be licking their chops when he heard that. Because
if you could get a deal done and push it ahead into the next cap year at a fair price because he wants to end here, you've won. But if he's coming to camp,
you have even more bullets in your gun.
Yes.
Because like what Cars and Shawn and Ivan were talking about, Tonga's out there shining. My guy, Mario Edwards, he's going to be suspended for the first 2 games. Don't forget that part of it. He's out there making fucking plays. They signed him to an extension for a reason. Bilal Nichols he's playing for new paper. All of this affects Akeem Hicks moving forward, and it affects him financially. It's not going to be a huge payday for him. Ryan Pace and the Bears are in a position of power here with him.
But
no, we're very economical, my family.
But you have to take it a step further. I think there's one reason that Akeem is trying to get this probably done right now, and it's number one. Like when you hear these guys going, there's a belief. You hope there's hope, right? You got to believe that there's belief, right? But the way that these guys are together, the way these guys talk about the season and what they have and how special it is to them tells you of where the players believe that this is going. They're not sitting there writing the Super Bowl shuffle by any means.
Right.
But they know that right now the arrow is pointing up and they want to be around that. And this is not something that we've had in a long time. And
we had that moment, and then
absolutely
2.0 happened.
But so we're sitting here now with a bunch of guys that all know where this is going, and they want to be a part of it because they see winning in our future. And that's, if you take anything, right? Like I'm a fan. I drink a lot of the Kool-Aid. I'm going to be super hyped about the stuff. But if you watch these guys and how they talk, Allen Robinson in his interview the other day when he was talking about Justin, right? Like all of these guys, they're in. They see it, they feel it, they believe it.
Great stuff, guys. Seriously, it's a great time. Again, I know you're a guy because we're running up on the half-hour mark. Ivan, your MVP or the guy that you really thought stood out, and any other nuggets real quick. I know the fucking the Halas Hall fucking concession stand stuck that.
Oh,
hey,
blue.
Eat before you go. Eat before you go.
Let everybody know. Eat before you go.
No, I really like Tonga. I'm gonna go with Tonga as an MVP, but just overall the energy on both sides of the ball and the energy amongst the fans, it's a difference. Like we talked about with Akeem, why people want to stay here. Mm-hmm. There's a huge difference in the vibe and the atmosphere and the energy of the players. You see it with Shawn Desai running fucking sideline to sideline. His players feel that. You know, we talked about coaches. Your team reflecting is a reflection of the head coach or the coach. Yep. Well, the coordinator, is a fucking madman. You know what I mean? What do you think his players are going to be like?
Yep.
And that's exactly the type of energy that they were showing. They were reflecting the energy that they were getting back.
That's huge. I've always said it. Shane knows you got to have a coach that's maniacal. Somebody out there. You can't be worried about the next play. You got to be involved with every play. Know what your line is doing, who's performing, and get his ass out. You send messages. That's what Desai seems to have, and I'm excited about it. He's a Connecticut kid. Like I've said many times, right up the road right here. I coached against the guy. I know Shelton High School. They teach fundamentals and pride. That's all I got to know about his foundation. Shawn Sierra, your MVP, something that stood out big time for you in regards to, I know a lot of people want to ask about the Khalil Mack Shaheen fight, whatever that was, but Cars gave you that. Khalil Mack just fucking dumped him on his head once.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Don't forget you went to an online college, kid. Just remember who the hell I am, just in case you don't know. You better ask somebody.
Take your little feathery mullet and eat some dirt for a little while. That's what we're gonna have you do.
Oh my God!
Go ahead. Know what? I'm gonna say it wasn't necessarily a player then, so I'm not. What it was the feel. There was Tease Tabor. There was one. They never ever give up. There was a play where cornerback was beat, and it was a corner route. It might have been a post corner because I looked and I came back at the last second. I was looking on the other side of the field. And he was heading to the corner, and he had beat the DB. And Tease Tabor he was the other safety. He saw it. He saw the guy get beat, and he went for a beeline. And Tua, I don't want to say Tua. The quarterback floated it, and all the guy had to do was catch it. Guy catches it. The ball hits his hands. He's about to raise and do something crazy, and here comes Tease Tabor, from about I don't want to say 15 to 20 yards away, and just freaking knocks the ball right out of his hands, incomplete. That type of effort that I'm seeing from people, guy running 15 to 20 yards to save a touchdown like that, those little things, little things, that's permeating through this squad. That's those little things like they are permeating through the squad, and when things like that permeate through the squad, there's going to be so many times where because it's football, you're going to get beat sometimes. It happens. Yes. Crazy news. The Bears, as good as they were, they gave up. The 85 Bears gave up touchdowns, so it doesn't matter.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
But when you do your best and you see and you can cover and help for somebody, it's going to save a lot. It's going to be a big momentum changer a lot throughout the season because instead of 7, they would have to settle for 3. And if you know in football, 3 sucks when you should have 7. The Bears
Ask Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and the Bears they're gonna have a lot of field goal kickers and like, damn, I wish it was an extra point and not a field goal, because the way that these guys are fighting to the end that was very, very noticeable to me on offense, but especially on defense with Shawn Desai's crew.
Yeah. Kendall Vildor, real quick, guys. How did he look? Obviously, number 1 corner on the depth chart is interesting to me. That's my guy. So just real quick, one of you.
Didn't see a whole lot. The wide receivers for Miami didn't seem to do a great job getting open today. So we saw a lot more focus on their tight ends and out and stuff out to the running backs. Mm-hmm. So I don't really remember a whole lot of wide receiver plays for them. I remember seeing Gesicki several times. So in that regards, I think the coverage was very good. Tua also looked completely unsure and had no time. So not really for me a lot to see there.
Good stuff. Guys, I know we're getting there. Shane, did you want to say anything or ask any questions, any nuggets before I kind of wrap
just
this
glad
up?
you guys got to go out and hang out. Me and my boy Cars. I know everybody's been talking about his height and being surprised by that. So that's why
they were like, "So how'd you meet Phil?" And I was like, "I've never met Phil face to face in my life. We met on."
It's gonna be me.
I was getting
looking
DMs
up
last night. It was like 4:00 in the morning. My phone's lighting up, and I look down and I'm like, "Bro, I can't fucking believe how tall Cars is." What is going on? Take a night off and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Did you see this Eagles offensive lineman real quick? Check this out. on there.
Selling out, baby. He's
Maximum
selling out.
effort.
Selling out.
He's doing the belly flop.
That's glorious. He's pulling the Charles Leno. That was fantastic.
There you go. Guys, great shit tonight. Tomorrow, Shawn, where could they find the show, your show, Shawn and Maya in the Morning? Talk about that real quick before.
Yeah, guys, we're going to be on tomorrow. Phil's going to be on 11 o'clock Central Time. So if you're on the East Coast, it'll be noon for you guys. Take a quick peek on your lunch break. 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. But you can find the shows 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time. You can find us on Facebook, Sports Zone Chicago. You can find us on YouTube, Sports Zone Chicago. We also have an app. So wherever you get your apps from, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, Walgreens, CVS, wherever you get your apps from, okay? Download Sports Zone Chicago. Take us with you on the go, and you'll be able to tune in. Check us out tomorrow, 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time. So adjust to your specific time zone.
So there'll be more Bears talk with Shawn Sierra, Shawn and Maya in the Morning. Get yourselves ready. It's going to be a big week of Chicago Bears football. We got guys going out to the stadium. Our guy, Cool Kennedy, I see him in the chat shouting you guys out.
I appreciate it, Cool Kennedy. Good shit, Papa. Good shit.
Yeah, so anybody that's going to the game, please DM either me, Shawn, not Shawn, Shane, Cars.
I'll be there.
Alex Acevedo, you're going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Ivan. So we're going to try to get all of you guys together. My boy Ron G, the producer of this next promo, as we lead out. This weekend, we will be live, TTNL Bears Hour live, and at halftime on the patron side, breaking down some of the deep plays with our guy Berlissimo on the, what do we call that? The Madden
Illustrator.
Illustrator, yes. Berlissimo, me, my dad, and Shane, the money man, Marsaw, this halftime. And we'll be talking about this game. We got people in the pregame show. They're going to be at the stadium. One that Cars can't stand. But hey, it's all good, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on the show. And then we'll be live after the game. I want to thank, before I wrap this up, Shawn Sierra, Ivan Vargas, and Matt Karsten going out to Halas Hall. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I got to thank my boy Jim Larison for making that happen.
Thank you, Jim.
Shout out to Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Marvin Baruda, he didn't get to give the cleats.
No, he didn't.
They look beautiful, though.
They look beautiful. You guys
they
saw
look dope.
as Ivan said, it was just so hard to get him there. And HL Priest is telling me he'll be at the game too. So we'll keep in contact, make sure everyone gets together. Bears Hour Live, though. I'm going to play this clip, Shane, from last year to get you fucking ready for what we're going to be bringing to the table here on TTNL. That's where I met this guy right over here, Ivan Vargas from this show. And now we're all brothers here in arms. God bless you. Have a great night. And hopefully the librarian Jackal and Steven have a great show coming up next. And you keep allowing a team that's less than you in the game, that's a showcase of you not being prepared, not being attacking, not having the aggressiveness and the attitude to say we are better than you and we are going to beat you. And not only did it not happen at home, it happened in a dramatic fashion and showcase of everything we've talked about for weeks. You're up by 10 points. You come out of the halftime and you're in the Arena League again.
What more does 32 have to do? What does he have to do? Phil, I almost thought it was a joke when we were talking at halftime. I'm like, well, at this point, you know, we saw David Montgomery house the 80-yarder. You know, he needed that. He needed it. But we talked about it at halftime. If you're a patron, go back and listen to the halftime show. We said he's going to be removed from the game plan.
People are not going to be motivated by little taps. You have to make them accountable. When you put that much into it, you don't let down. And the guy next to you says, you son of a bitch, you better block. That's what happens. That's when you have a real good team.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Power off. Let's go.